Wow. I'm dying to know about those interviews. But first, I just got to ask, why the Israeli Mafia? What's the fascination with that? What made you want to uncover that story and bring it to everyone?
Well, you know, it's funny what you're saying. 3.5 years ago, I was shooting a movie in Las Vegas. It was the end of the shoot. We're about to wrap the movie and all that stuff. And a friend of mine, you know, just came from New York, and we're sitting in the pool in the Bellagio. I'll never forget that. We talk about the movies and we talk about that, and I tell him, you know, I'm searching for a great, you know, great project. I'm just starting my company, and he tell me, you know, listen, check it out. I know about this group, you know, called the Israeli Mafia. They call them the Israeli Mafia. And I say Israeli Mafia. You know, I mean, when I say the word mafia, you think about the Russian, or you think about the Italian, but you think about Israeli, you don't think about it as a mafia. You think about, you know, this country being in a war since 1948, all the conflicts between the Palestinian and the Arabs.
Right.
And you never want to think about the mafia. I said, that's interesting. I went back to the hotel, back to my room, and we start going online, and we find out those little bit story. I have another associate in New York, and I give him a call, and we start investigating in the FBI files, and we found that this group operated over 2,500 people worldwide, and they operated over like 38 countries, and the base was New York. And when you read something like that, wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's start reading. Let's start working on it. So I did my homework. And when you read the FBI files, I read it 3 years ago. And a year before, people start dying. The people who went to the witness protection program and start dying. As I got more into the story, I found an informant called Roman Gonen, which, if you see the movie, you see how, by coincidence, the Israeli Mafia fell into the hands of the FBI. So I tried to contact Roman Gonen, and it wasn't easy, because Roman is...
I hope not.
Well, yeah, when you watch the movie,
I hope it's not easy to contact him, you know.
I contacted, you know, make phone to the FBI, how can I get him? But, you know, when you're in a witness protection program, obviously they protect, you know, those people who went and cooperate with the government.
Right.
And finally I found Roman through another somebody who's supposed to give him the phone, and he checked me up. He saw all my movies that I done, all my production. I think it was 3 months later I got a phone call through my manager, and she told me, hey, this gangster is wanting to talk to you. I said, gangster? What do you mean gangster? He said, this gangster, Roman Gonen, wants to talk to you. And he called me, and from then is a history. I never forget the first time he said, listen, let's meet in a place that nobody can kill me.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, this guy was informed on 16 heavy hitters. That mean the Canadian, the Colombian, the Israeli, and versa, more and more and more people. So that's a very dangerous man. That's a man that somebody out there want to kill this guy. So we went to Las Vegas, and we went in the Bellagio. It's funny. And Roman showed up to the meeting. He had a marshal with him, basically check me up. If I didn't carry any weapons and all that stuff, it's all clear.
And you didn't have any on you?
Not that I remember.
Good, good.
So we sat down and we start talking about, you know, about all the stuff. Roman sat down to check me up. Everything is cool. And that's it. After that, we went for like 6 days of intensive interviews in the Bellagio room. It was day and night, day and night, day and night. Roman told us about all the stuff that happens to him. And over the course of 6 months, me and Roman and my crew, we met in different places.
Yeah, I was going to say that, because I saw, as I watched the movie, that he always seemed to be in a different place. So you obviously had to do a lot of traveling to meet up with him.
Well, it's just like the movie, you know. It's funny because when he talked to you, he's talking to 3 different phones. He hanged the phone and called from another phone. He called from another phone, and then, okay, yes, now we got the right phone, now we can talk. So it's all funny because you have to understand, after 16 years being in a program of the witness protection program, you're getting used to this fear. You're getting used to this, somebody's about to kill me. And I don't blame him. You know, society maybe will see it in a way that he put criminal in basically behind bars.
Right.
But in the world of criminals, you know, you did the wrong thing. You rat on them. You informed on them.
Right.
What's great about this documentary, there's no character, there's no actor, there's no extra. That's the real deal. And most of the people you're going to see in the documentary are not alive today. They died just recently, 5 years ago.
Wow.
Back to our story, what happened is Roman starts talking to us over the 5-6 months, tell us like what's the consequences of him informing. And when you get into witness protection, you have to understand that you don't get fortune, you don't get money from them, you don't get, no. They will basically protect you, do their job to protect you from people who want to kill you,
right.
but you on your own.
Yeah.
And what Roman basically told us about, and what you see in the movie, is it's very hard for him because he can't call home, which is Israel. He has a family, he cannot go back. He cannot become a famous businessman because he can't put his pictures on the newspaper. He can't put his pictures on a magazine, or we have in an interview. There's no freedom anymore.
Right.
So he told me now, in the criminal world, when you talk, you don't have any freedom anymore. And you know, he got to a point, he was very emotional about that. And I really respect Roman, who came forward. And he told me one thing, he said, you know, Emilio, if I died, at least I told you everything. So in this movie, you're going to see what the truth of not just living in the witness protection program. It's also the lifestyle they choose.
Wow.
And you have to understand, when we start doing the interview with the informant Roman Gonen, by then, the Godfather basically released from jail and got exiled to Israel. He basically, the United States said, okay, buddy, you got to go. And we started a promotion called Dead Sea, which we start this project as to make a feature called Dead Sea before we even got to the documentary. So we went to Roman to get the information. When we put Dead Sea promotion online, we got a phone call 7 months later. And he was an anonymous person and say, hey, if you want to talk to Eitan Chia, which is the guy who built the Israeli mafia, who is the head of the Israeli mafia, you know, come over and we'll talk to you. You have to understand, when I go to my crew, nobody wants to get involved because they say, listen, we took it too far, and I don't feel like getting, like, I don't know, killed or something. I say, you got to be ridiculous. We're a filmmaker. What's going to happen? I say, fuck it. Can I say fuck it, by the way? Can you say fuck it?
I don't know. Yeah.
No? Okay.
I'm getting the thumbs up sign. You can say.
All right, let's take
fuck it, whatever.
Well, let's take it back. I say, you know what? If I want to bring the audience a great story and a great movie, what I got to do is fly to Israel and meet the guy who's basically established the Israeli mafia. Because when I talk to Roman, you get the story from a second hand instead of from the sources. So when I flew to Israel, I flew with it's a friend of mine called Chris Kardash, who was the cameraman on the crew, because nobody wanted to fly with us. You know, everybody was like, I don't want to do it. So we flew to Israel, and
yeah, I was going to say, tell us a little bit about the other side, you know, the informant side. Then you went and met with the Godfather, right?
Yeah, we met the Godfather, and
oof, you risked your life, didn't you? Basically, to go there.
Well, I don't see it as a risk my life. I see it as more as like, you know, if Dead Sea for me was such an important movie.
Yeah.
And Dead Sea for me to achieve the true information, the true things that happen to these characters, I got to go to the guy who knew the best. I got to go to the guy who established this mafia. When we got there, I'll never forget, we just arrived to Israel. We got the airport. And my cinema, my photographer didn't know what he's about to do. You know, he didn't know who we meet to meet. And when he found out, he got scared. I said, "Come on, guys, let's just do it." You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went. We met them. He was very nice to us. He opened the door for us. He really cooperate with us. You know, because the media in Israel made him looks like an animal, like this killer and like murder and all that stuff. So obviously you're gonna be like, you know, concerned about your life.
Right.
But I stayed with him for a month, and he helped me to basically not just create this Last Man Standing and the true story. Also, we did research to finish the script of the feature Dead Sea.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's probably no way you could have written the script and had all the information you needed without these interviews. So they were kind of vital to you actually putting them in the script and making of the Dead Sea.
Absolutely, absolutely. He really helped us and gave us information, and amazing information about how drugs used to flow into the States. Tons of tons of tons of tons. How did he start it? Because he came to the state, he jumped over the border of Mexico and become like one of the biggest mafia in the history of New York City.